No
Welcome
problem.
back to the Crypto Factor. Welcome back to another show. Welcome to another show with Gareth Soloway. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin, gold, oil, stocks. We're going to make fun of a few people, and we even have a surprise for Gareth. Gareth, welcome back, man. Nice to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me back. It's always so fun to talk to you.
Yes, it is. And did we call that move last week? I mean, that was an exceptional call. Everybody was bearish on the 40K. We said there was an anomaly in the charts. You agreed. And guess what happened right after that video?
Right up.
I made a bet on BitBoy Crypto's channel around the blockchain. It will happen by Sunday. We talked on Tuesday. I said, look, I'm still feeling this as an anomaly. You agreed. And we said it's going to happen. And it happened right after the video.
It was awesome, man.
Was
It was
it
great
inside
call.
connections, man? Did you have anybody? Did you make a
That
call?
we must have the inside
Bomb
track,
beat.
or we just are very good at looking at the charts and knowing what's going on.
Yeah, it was great. It was crazy, man. One of the best shows. I'll leave it linked down below. It's a bit old, but hey, we touched on a lot of things. We talked about a lot of things that are still relevant today. So make sure you watch that video. I'll link it down below, and make sure you check out Gareth Soloway as well. I'll leave his links down below, and right here you can see him right on top. So, man, Gareth, what is going on? What is going on with Bitcoin? Open your charts. Open your magic.
All right, let's get into the magic, right? So yeah, so we have seen this beautiful kind of move, and really what we have is a short-term breakout on Bitcoin. Now,
Yeah.
this is very short-term, but if we zoom in on the charts, I can put in a trend line right here, right? And you basically had this little wedge pattern forming, and you can actually draw a trend line through the lows here, right? So what we saw is just a couple days ago, we moved above it. You had a pause day, and now we're continuing up. Now, one of the things I'm watching now, I do think there's a chance we could go test this 46,000 line up here, but one of the first steps has to be to take out this high here, which is around 42,500. The reason why that's important is you still have a high, lower high, and you're still at a lower high here as well. So if we can take that out, you put in a higher high, and in the short term, that should give us enough momentum to move up to that orange line. Now, you're still stuck in this trend, right? So that still means that longer midtermish, you got to have downside exposure or expect to see downside. But short term, I am bullish. I'm long some cryptos, and I'm riding it for the short term here at least.
Yeah, and if you gave that chart up, if you just let me just confirm my technical analysis. I use parallels. I'm very, very basic with my technical analysis. If you draw a line, a parallel line at that 42K, at where the wick ends and also where the candle ends, it's 42K. No. They're just 42K, just one
Is
line.
it 42? All right, so right here, right?
Yeah, and then just a normal line. Just go all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
See how that's support and resistance over the time.
Right here.
Yeah. And I keep it more straight. I'm very, very precise. I don't do the little, I try to keep everything straight, and I look for anomalies, but that's what I look at. Look at the 42K. Every time it's support, every time it's support, and every time it's resistance. And that's why it's really important. And I used to talk about that 42K level a lot. Now, I want to say something else. That 45K level that you also talked about, you have that orange line. I, again, have the straight line.
Yeah, there's a straight line right there, too. And it's just above that, too.
Exactly. Yep. And the more we hit that resistance, the weaker it gets. So if we can break up above 42K, stop maybe one more time at that resistance of 45K, then meet 42K as support, I think we're going to break that 45K next.
Nice, man.
Probability-wise.
So you think where do you think we'll go assuming we break here? What's your next? Do you have a target?
49K, 50K is psychological.
Nice. Cool, man.
I don't even need to look at the charts. I don't even need to look at the parallel lines. I remember on the way down, but I can also I like round numbers. I trade a lot. Let's look what the charts say.
Yep. Yeah. And that's right around my level too. You got the 50K even number right here.
Yeah.
And then just above that, there's this pivot, which actually you could even extend out to right to this area as well. Yeah. And you see it touched it right there. So that would be a great area where I agree. I mean, I'm somewhat skeptical that we'll break above this level here, but if we did, then you have a straight shot to that 50 to 52K level.
If we do, of course. I'm just saying, if we do, probabilities are higher.
Yeah,
right?
I agree, man. I agree. And one of the things you have to like is, number one, we're definitely seeing a risk on environment, right? So technology stocks, and again, I follow the stock market, I follow
Right.
the commodities, I follow crypto, and risk on is good for Bitcoin, right? It's money going into the system, and we've seen a
Yeah.
great risk on environment. One of my theses for why I think the crypto is going to make another move up here is that the stock market is having a really good run this week. And crypto, you could arguably say, has somewhat underperformed. But once the stock market closes on Friday and people have that itch to trade, there's nothing for them to do but play cryptocurrency.
Guess what's
right?
open on the weekends?
That's right. So that addiction, that's what you got to go to. So it very possibly, assuming there's no negative news, that could be the catalyst to push up even through that 42,000 level over the weekend and maybe push towards 45.
Yeah, I think we'll see the negative news in the charts, and this is like some news we didn't know about. We'll see a glitch in the charts, man. Show me the charts. We'll tell you the news. So let me ask you about this, Gareth. What do you think about
gold?
Yeah, let's look at gold, baby. I just bought two today. Yeah, very good.
So gold's obviously, we had the big breakout. I've been talking about this breakout here for a long, long time. I've been referring to the 1970s for basically a model of what's happening here. And you have seen that breakout. The culmination here was the highest point on the chart, which was kind of like max fear of the Russia invasion occurring and the sanctions and maybe oil being not able to be exported from Russia. And then since then, fear has kind of come back in here a lot. And I still think, this is my prognosis, is we're still going a way higher on gold, but I actually expect a little bit more of a pullback first, maybe back to this line here. So in technical analysis, there's something that's called kind of a retrace to what I call the scene of the crime, right? So this was your trend line here, and we touched it here and we broke out. The retrace would be back to that line, which is kind of like checking back to home base. And then once it feels secure and like, okay, I've checked back, that's when you can get the next move to the upside. So right now I'm looking to add to my gold positions. If we come back to probably 1875 to 1840, anywhere in there, I think is a very high percentage trading opportunity for a move up.
Right. So if you do my parallel lines, see where you have that yellow line. I was about to go look over there. I was about to show
maybe you're talking about this, right? That's why you
but there's one lower too. One right there.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm buying. And I've already started buying, by the way. I've already started buying.
Nice.
So, and that's where, if it goes lower, it doesn't matter. I'll buy some more.
Yeah. And for me, this is the range for me, right in this vicinity. The reason why I do think you might get one more move down is I do expect some sort of resolution with the conflict in Russia. At some point, something's going to give. And when you have that risk factor removed, there'll be a quick jerk reaction on gold to sell it sharply. It might be really fast. Like it could literally be an hour or two of a big drop and then it could snap back. But I do think that's where you could get down to that kind of 1850-ish level in the very quick trade.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to say that this is where most people are going to get it wrong and get wrecked. Well, not wrecked, but this is where most people are going to get it wrong. They're going to be happy with the good news. It's going to get the drop on gold. Everything else is going to pump for a little bit. But then guess what they're not thinking about? Inflation. And guess what else they're not thinking about? Gold is a slow play. It takes months and months for it to show in the charts. It might have acted like Bitcoin the last few weeks, but it takes months. And I really think in the 6th month, 1 year, it's okay. I'm patient. The more time, the more I can accumulate. I think gold's going to do very well. And if it breaks at all-time high, I'm seeing gold going to 2,900, 3,000K. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely have upside at least 3,000. I think in the next 3 to 5 years, you could even be at 5,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think what investors need to remember is that, when I was talking about gold being the play back in October, November of 2021, people were like, oh, that's gold is over, all this kind of chatter because Bitcoin was the hot thing. But look at where we are now. Bitcoin down for the year, stock market down for the year. Gold is up for the year, right? So net, if Bitcoin's down, let's say 10 or 20%, or the stock market's down, the Nasdaq's down basically 15%. Gold is up even 5%. That's a change of about 20% in your return. It's massive.
That is massive. And it's not only that, it's just a way to keep your money on the side, because don't forget, it's dollars, fiat, it's deflationary. So if you're losing 10% every year, yeah, sure, you'll lose a certain percentage in gold every year as well. Maybe what is it, 7-6%?
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
At least.
Yeah, but still, you have that gold that will get you more cash when the time comes, and you have that security. That, like, I'm holding my gold like here. That's why I got my fingers like this, because I like getting in these little packets.
Yeah, it's fun to hold real gold. I mean, I know I usually trade as a swing trader. I'm trading the GLD or the GDX,
yes, of course.
But I have physical metals, and I mean, you remember DuckTales? I don't know. Did you watch DuckTales when you were young?
Of course, I will. Who has?
I mean, God forbid anyone actually dove into real gold, you'd be dead. But it's kind of cool to just like hold it and feel it, and it weighs. I mean, it's amazing how heavy it is.
Exactly. It just feels good. It just feels right. It just feels like God's money, as Robert Kiyosaki would say.
That's right.
Right. Now, let's talk about something else right now. Let's close the charts for a second.
All right.
Because I want to ask you, okay, and you have to be sincere.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you ape into Ape Coin yesterday?
So I don't know if this is bad to say, but I saw someone hashtagging it on Twitter, and I'm like, is this an actual coin, or is this like a joke? I honestly didn't even know what it was. So you got to fill me in on this. What the heck is going on?
So Bored Apes Yacht Club did an airdrop, and they gave Ape Coin to their holders. Now, they airdropped Ape Coin, and some of that was worth $10,000, $20,000, some $100,000, some $200,000. It was insane. So the airdrop happened. Obviously, the price went up, and I saw this massive drop. And I have the same sort of rule as I do with IDOs. When something, I don't buy ICOs, I don't buy IDOs. Very, very, very rarely. I also don't accept allocation for YouTube videos and stuff like that. I just think it's bad practice. I'm not judging people that do. I don't do it. I don't like dumping on people. I do accept sponsorships. I'll take USDT, Bitcoin, or Ethereum, right? Nice. But I saw the move, and I saw it go down. Like, people are going to ape into this. People are going to go bananas. Pun intended, both of them. So I bought yesterday. Nice. And I saw these little candlesticks, like just a little bit small, right? And I know it's too soon to do technical analysis, and we'll talk about that, but it just felt it was the right time. And I bought some, and that shit just went up like crazy, man. It just went up like crazy. I was so happy about it because I got the move. I wanted to make a video about it. I made a post about it this morning because I didn't have enough time. And then I made a video about it, and that's doing good.
That's cool, man. Very cool. Now, I honestly didn't even know what was, to be honest, what it was. But in all fairness, there's so many things out there that I just don't know a lot about. So it's good to know about it.
Gareth, it's Bored Apes Yacht Club. People are going to go, people that always, okay, first of all, there's a huge, strong community behind it. But where I got it was this. Most people that wanted to get into Bored Apes, myself included, because I missed it. I saw it. I didn't buy it. I bought some other shit because of this guy. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I missed Bored Apes Club, the NFT. And I figure people that can't afford it, they're going to buy the coin. They're going to buy the token just to be part of it.
Part of it, yeah.
Right? And a lot of diehard fanatics are not going to sell those tokens. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you know what? Just because of the success of the NFT. So that's where I'm making the bet on. Now, it might go down a little bit more. It doesn't matter, but I think it will go up over time. But the funniest thing, Gareth, check this. Somebody borrowed on a decentralized platform. They borrowed 5 Bored Apes. They found like a lot. They borrowed 5 Bored Apes. They claimed the airdrop, then gave it back again.
Wow.
And you can do that apparently. And there's a big thing now. Was it stealing? Was it taking advantage of the system? Or was it just a smart play?
Mm-hmm. Well,
because if you think about it, hey, there's no rule against it. If I rent a bar and somebody comes and drinks in my bar, it's not your money. I rented it from you.
Yeah, that's right.
You should have been smarter, to put. So it was a big deal.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah. So let's
Yeah, I
talk
mean, more
about.
power to it. I mean, you got to be on top of things. If there's one thing I've learned in my investing career is you got to know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
If a stock, for instance, is reporting earnings after the bell, you need to know that because the stock could be up 20 or down 20%. And you can't claim like, oh, I didn't know, it's not my fault, I want my money back. Like that's the nature of it. So people have to be on point with their investments.
Yeah, and the funny thing I said before about the little charts and the candlesticks. Have you noticed how a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people do technical analysis on charts for initial coin drops, like they're like maybe a day or 3 days old, and they're sitting there doing technical analysis, like, well, if Fibonacci is right here and you're getting in this level, which is a support, and now look, it's about to break. There's no history.
Yeah, there's nothing. And
And you
again,
know
even when I mean, people always ask me on recent IPOs too. And if you got even a month of action, it's almost, I mean, it's
nothing.
almost a crapshoot because you just don't have the history to be able to make high probability trading opportunities.
I mean, Bitcoin's hard enough. It's 10 years,
Yeah.
13 years. All right. Let's see what's going on with the world. Let's see if this war is coming to an end. Let's see if peace is coming. Let's check out the oil chart.
Let's look at oil, WTI. And I have to say, so oil has seen quite the move. And let me just see where the best chart is for me to drop or take a look at this. Let's see what we got here. Crypto, we're going to go
Presumably,
to.
if oil is going down, it could be good news for the conflict, correct?
Right. That's the idea. Yeah. And I'm just trying to bring up one of the good charts here. Let's look at the oil futures and then I'll show them in just a second here. All right, here we go. So let's take a look here. And basically, you've seen a little bit of an upswing in oil right now in WTI. You can see the mega pop to $130, the mega retrace, and now you're moving up. So you are trading up. I covered my short, which I was short from. Basically, I was accumulating on the way up. Once I got in the money decently, I took my money and ran. But I am looking to reshort oil. And again, my target here is basically just underneath 110 as the shortable level. There's a key little gap right there. And you can see if we just get up right there. And the idea here for me is that even if the conflict doesn't end soon, the slowdown in the economy, whether it's from interest rate hikes from the Fed, whether it's from high oil prices where people decide not to take that summer trip because it's going to cost them $500 in gas, that's going to reduce demand for oil, and oil inevitably is going to come down. And if you look at the chart going back to 2008, it is almost identical. And you know how I've referred to the 1970s charts in gold to call the breakout and all these different charts. The same thing can be done with crude, and you can go to that. In fact, I'll show the USO chart going back there. It's a great chart here. But if we go to the monthly chart, you can see that basically back in, now, and this is not a good one to show, but you can see right here you had this massive move up on the USO. And again, I want to go to WTI because that's a really crappy version of the chart because of the depreciation here. And let me see here. We'll go back to the oil futures chart. I don't have the information, but bottom line is, just to kind of go to it, the bottom line is that in 2008, the stock market topped basically in late 07, early 08. Oil continued to rip higher for another 4 to 6 months. And at that point, we saw a huge rollover in oil where it just crashed to the downside. It went from $140 to about $35 a barrel and bottomed at the same time the market bottomed. So if you're looking for when the stock market could bottom, watch oil, right? Oil hasn't even really started to collapse yet, which means the stock market likely still has a long way down to go.
Yeah, talking about stocks, you want to show us what's going on with stocks, S&P 500, so on?
Yeah, let's take a look. So S&P 500 has been ripping along with the NASDAQ. We've seen risk on for the last few days, even in spite of the Federal Reserve hike of 25 basis points that occurred on Wednesday. I'm at the point where I'm actually unloading. I unloaded about 9 long positions in stocks today. So really a heavily selling into this rally. And I'm going to look to short. And I'll show you here. Let's go to the Qs.
460.
Yeah, the Qs, look at the Qs right back to this trend line. See this trend line here, which basically marks this low from 2020 March low, and you touched it right here. Well, you're coming right into that same level. And I know you like your flat lines.
Yes,
you can actually connect a line right there, and you're right into that level as well. So there's a lot of resistance coming into this market. I'm guessing that you might get a little bit more upside, but for the most part, get ready for another big leg down. Bear market rallies are notoriously fast and furious, and then they peter out and you see the market drop back down.
Yeah. All right, Gareth, thank you so much for that update, man. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Everyone, check out Gareth Links are up on top, down at the bottom. Gareth, thank you so much, man. And let's see. Any crazy predictions before you go?
Predictions. I predict that we will see new stock market lows within 1 month from now. So you will see us making new lows, panic and fear out there in a month or less. And I know I'll be on probably every couple of weeks, so we'll be able to update that and see if I'm right.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.